Hey guys, turn off the lights. Seriously, no, this isn't a joke. Go on, I'll wait. Now, get comfortable. Settle into the sweet, anxious dread that's probably creeping up your spine right now. Because tonight, we're not just talking about a story. We're performing a ritual. Remember that kid at the sleepover who always swore they had an uncle who knew someone who saw something? The one who would grab a handful of candles, lock the bathroom door, and dare you to do it? To stare into the darkness and chant those 3 chilling words, Bloody Mary. Before we dive into the murky, terrifying depths of this legend, go ahead and hit that like button if you're brave enough to stick around. And in the comments, tell me the creepiest thing you ever saw in a mirror. Because trust me, after this, you might never look at your own reflection the same way again. You're standing there now, aren't you? In a dark room, maybe the bathroom. The air's cold, heavy with a silence that feels wrong. You raise your gaze and your own reflection stares back, but something's different. The shadows seem to cling to your face, distorting your features just a little. A flicker of doubt, a nervous sweat on your palms. You take a breath, but it sounds too loud. The faint candlelight casts a dancing glow, making your reflection shift and waver. You try to focus on your eyes, but they feel like 2 black holes. That's when you hear it. A whisper just at the edge of your hearing. It sounds like your own name, but dragged through a layer of rust and dust. It's not coming from outside the mirror. It's coming from within. Your hands tremble. You want to look away, to turn and run, but a strange magnetic pull keeps you frozen. Your reflection is no longer a perfect copy. The eyes look wider, the mouth twists into a thin, unnatural line. A dark, sticky sensation of dread coats your throat. This isn't a game, it's an invitation. All right, hold up. Before anyone accidentally summons a malevolent spirit or has a psychological break, let's be clear. I am not a supernatural expert. I am a storyteller. This is for entertainment purposes. If you are easily spooked, have a heart condition, or just really don't like mirrors in the dark, maybe save this for a brightly lit morning. Also, if you're a friend who watches my channel just for the jump scares, tag them in the comments right now. You know who you are. Now, let's get back to the darkness. The legend of Bloody Mary is like the paranormal version of a bad Yelp review. I went to this bathroom, said her name 3 times, and now I'm haunted. 1 star, would not recommend. But seriously, think about it. We've all been there. It's the ultimate sleepover challenge, the OG party trick. It's a rite of passage, like learning to drive or successfully building IKEA furniture. It's a way to feel brave in a moment when you're absolutely not. But the real mystery isn't what appears in the mirror. It's why we, as humans, are so obsessed with pushing our own boundaries of fear. We know it's probably not real, but what if it is? The mirror is just a piece of glass, but in the dark, it becomes a portal. A 2-way street for our darkest fears and, as we'll see, some very real psychological tricks. The legend of Bloody Mary isn't just a random ghost story. It's a Frankenstein's monster of history, superstition, and science. The most famous origin story points to Queen Mary the First of England. You know, the daughter of Henry VIII and Catherine of Aragon. She reigned in the mid-1500s and she was pretty metal. She got the nickname Bloody Mary after she had over 280 Protestants burned at the stake. Now that's what I call a branding strategy. But here's the thing. While her father, Henry, executed tens of thousands, and her sister, Elizabeth, executed 183 Catholics, Queen Mary is the one history branded bloody. Why? Well, probably a mix of sexism and Protestant propaganda. She was a Catholic queen in a Protestant nation. The story of her being a homicidal, mirror-dwelling ghost is a great way to demonize a historical figure. But the legend gets even darker. Another theory links the name to a woman named Mary Worth, a witch who was accused of kidnapping and murdering children to use their blood for, well, you guessed it, a creepy beauty ritual. The villagers eventually found her and burned her to the stake. And of course, just before her fiery demise, she cursed them all to hell, a classic villain exit. Now let's get into the really fascinating part, the science. Staring into a mirror in the dark for a prolonged period isn't just a spooky party game. It's a form of sensory deprivation. Our brain, desperate for stimulation, starts to freak out. This is a phenomenon known as the Troxler effect, named after a Swiss physician. Essentially, when you focus on a single point for too long, your peripheral vision starts to fade away. Your brain gets bored and fills in the blanks with what it expects to see, which, in a low-light, high-stress situation, is usually something terrifying. Your own face begins to contort. Your features melt and shift. It's not an outside entity. It's your own brain playing tricks on you. And here's the kicker, the real conflict. This psychological theory creates an internal battle for anyone who's ever tried it. You're staring into the mirror, your heart pounding, and your mind is screaming, "It's just my brain, it's not real." But then your reflection's eyes seem to grow a little larger, a ghoulish smile appears, and suddenly that rational part of you feels a lot less convincing. That is the true terror of the Bloody Mary ritual. You're fighting a ghost, but the ghost is in your own mind. So, now that you know the historical context and the psychological reasons why your face melts into a horrifying monster, let's move on to the actual ritual and the terrifying tales that follow it. We've established the what and the why. Now let's get into the how and the what if. Quick question for you guys. Imagine you're standing in front of that mirror. The air is thick, and you swear you just heard a child's laughter from inside the reflection. What's your next move? Do you run for the door? Do you try to call out to your friends? Or do you stand your ground and try to prove it's just your brain playing games? Drop your answer in the comments right now. The stories from those who have tried this ritual are endless, from scratches appearing on faces, to whispers in the dark, to mirrors shattering on their own. We've all heard them. The reason they're so powerful is that they blur the line between reality and the psychological tricks your mind plays on you. Bloody Mary isn't just a ghost story. She's a reflection of our deepest fears, the fear of what lies beneath the surface of the mundane, the fear of losing control, the fear of what we might see when we truly, deeply look at ourselves in the dark. The mirror is a symbol, a doorway not just to another world, but to our own subconscious. And in the low light, our brain, that powerful, complex, and sometimes fragile organ, is capable of manifesting our own demons. So the next time you hear someone whisper those 3 words, remember, the true horror isn't the ghost you might see, but the one you might find within yourself. The story ends here. For now. But the rabbit hole of urban legends is deep, and our next chapter is even darker. Next time, we're going to step out of the bathroom and into the woods to unravel the mystery of the faceless, impossibly tall monster who has been haunting our nightmares for over a decade. We're talking about the Slender Man.